We headed south from Chennai and I must say it was good to see the sea again. The classifieds in the paper were very interesting. Advertisements looking for people to marry, this one in particular. Along the way to Pondicherry we saw some people working salt mine. So I went and helped them bag the salt. The local women were very keen to have me help them. So the bag this man is carrying weighs over 100 kilo. Construction methods are the same in the south, with the poles separating the floors. On our way we visited Auroville, which was a universal town where men and women from all countries could live in peace and progressive harmony above creeds, politics and nationality to realise human unity. It was set up in the late 1960s. There's over 2,000 people live there, but nearly half of them are Indians. This is the Matramanda, the temple that they have there. It certainly gives a lot of employment to the local population, and they do provide services like schools and healthcare. It's a good philosophy, but I'm a bit sceptical about how it actually works in reality. This is the church in Pondicherry. Pondicherry, it was a French colony up until the 50s, so quite a big Christian community there, and Jesus in bling. Outside was some budgerigars, that was a bit odd. This is how they sell the milk, in little plastic packages. I wouldn't like to try and say that when I was drunk. This is a very fancy building. When you look closely, it was actually a nursing home, and I hadn't seen many of those at all in India. And Indians certainly seem to like bookstalls. School's out, and these kids were really keen for me to take their photo. We walked through the local fish markets and there was a dog there just checking out what was happening. The markets were really fascinating. They were undercover, in really narrow little corridors or alleyways, all sorts of things you could find. Spices. Oh, they all want their picture taken. They love it if you take their picture. Very colourful outfits for all sizes and shapes. Veggies. I think these are some sort of aubergine. And flowers, of course, are a big thing for the offering in the temples. These are all marigolds. Green oranges are really common and the juice is yummy. These are leaves that they wrap betel nut in, and that's a digestive aid. The yellow stuff's turmeric, and they actually put it on their faces to make them paler. Some vegetable pasta. When business is slow, you have a bit of a rest. As I've said, Indians will sleep anywhere, anytime. Any sort of spoon you'd like there. Lots of kitchen shops. Habitat, eat your heart out. Different pans and woks and things. These are all different sorts of bindis, the little spots that women wear on their forehead. Oh, bling bling. All the flashing lights around the pictures. That's some nylon rope. I just like the colour of it. Then we caught tuk-tuks to the French Quarter. It was very impressive. Wide streets, very clean, well kept, in contrast to the rest of Pondicherry. This was a hospital, visiting time at 4:30, everyone waiting to get in to see their relatives. Sleeping on the statues in the park. It was a bit sad to see this elephant. It was captive. A moped with 3 wheels, trainer wheels. and the Postal Workers Union having a meeting outside the post office. This is along the shore at Pondicherry. Some local markets. And we stopped at a cafe and had some hot chocolate. This was the lilies in the pond. They were beautiful. And that night we went to a French restaurant in India. That was interesting. And the next morning I had dosa, which is a South Indian delicacy. It's made from fermented rice flour. It's a very thin, crispy pancake. And then you put curry potato or whatever else it is you want inside. It's a local dish in the south of India. He was very proud of it. Here we go, a bit of pathology. Anything you like you can get done. And I saw a couple of pet shops that had European looking dogs in them, and even some rabbits. These looked a bit worse for wear. I would have loved to have taken them all home, but no. If you don't get your milk in little plastic sachets, this is how it comes in the can. Oh, a cute little girl we saw. This is a man who is cooking some sort of bread and vegetable mixture. Anything that's cooked on the streets is generally safe to eat. Funny little houses. This is in Valapuram where we went to catch the train. Those frames are what they use as beds. I don't know what they were, but I would have thought they'd be long past use by date. Just some beads. And here we are rolling out the dough, having it ready for frying. Just on the street. And this is buttermilk. They drink it hot. I can think of nothing worse, I think. So he's pouring all this buttermilk into what looks like a big wok. So we were waiting at Villapuram Junction to catch the train to Madurai. And here we are in the waiting hall. Waiting. It was hot. Missing posters for people on the wall in the station. And always there's fire buckets. I'm not ever quite sure they're going to do much to get the fire out. People sleeping. One of the local women sleeping on the stone pillars. They actually have retiring rooms and dormitories if you care to use them. And they were doing some track work. Oh, electric train. We were in the air-conditioned carriage. It was very interesting. These fellows walk up and down the aisle with the food and drink and all sorts of things. Couldn't actually understand what they were saying, but nonetheless. Generally everyone was well behaved and seated. Few kids running around. And we did have something to eat. And we arrived at Madurai late at night.